Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get on up in here. Late night conversation. Savage Sports fan, please like, share, subscribe. We're a new channel trying to get it up and going. All the new subscribers, thanks for the love and support. Drop a comment, share a video. Let us know what's on your mind. Listen, if you guys missed it, Colorado lost today to the great 21 ranked Arizona football team. Great game. It was on a Pac-10 network. A lot of people didn't see this game. I'm kind of curious to see what the final numbers is as far as viewership, but it was a very, very, very good game. Very good game. I think this game kind of surprised people because Colorado actually looked much, much, much better on offense. They flowed a little better. They look a little bit looser. I believe this was their last home game. Their next two games are on the road. I do not think these guys are going to make any type of bowl. I would be shocked. If they can pull out maybe one out of two, I think they got Washington and then Utah. I think they can kind of, get them a bowl game, so to speak. I'm not sure, but from what I saw today, by them being on a Pac-10 network, a Pac-12 network, I don't see them being on a national TV scale losing like this. But this was a pretty good game, but offense looked good. Pat Shurmur got this team looking really good. They look like they haven't missed a beat from early in the season when they were scoring a lot of points. But unfortunately, the defense is just the defense. This year, Colorado just not good on defense. They got killed on rushing yards. The rushing yards, they got dominated. I think the end of the day, Arizona rushed twice this amount, I believe. The rushing yards for Arizona at the end of the day was, 207, and Colorado only rushed for 77 yards. So they beat them in that, but Colorado had 11 penalties in this game. This was sloppy on, Shannon Sharp said it a few weeks ago, the Colorado Buffaloes are just this is not a disciplined team. They got 11 penalties, and that gave up 83 yards. So they killed a lot of their drives, and they kept a lot of drives alive because the penalties, they couldn't stop the rush. They couldn't get them off on third down was not that bad. No, I'm sorry. Their first downs were good, but their third down really wasn't that bad. So at the end of the day, they lost from rushing and penalties. And they just couldn't do it. And, of course, they lost with a walk-off field goal. So, at the end of the day, it was close and good, but it just wasn't good enough. So, like I said, I'm hoping they can, squeak one or two out and get them a nice little bowl game. And, it'd be good for the fans. Nevertheless, let's get us some Sean Lewis news going on. It is reported that Sean is up for the Michigan State job. And that is kind of crazy to me because here it is, Colorado Buffaloes offensive coordinator Sean Lewis might be one and done with Boulder, but he is on a short list to take over Michigan State. Yes, Michigan State. He is coming back to the Midwest. If you didn't know, he was the old coach of Kent State. He's on a short list, but I don't know how this is going to play because if the rumors are true with him and his situations with the offense and him having his play calls demoted because of other things, but as of right now, he is on the list. And here it is. It says it would be the first time Colorado lost a coach to Michigan State. Mel Tucker went from all in with the Buffalo Boosters and then accepted the MSU job. So he'll be the first guy since Mel Tucker. But Tucker ended up being one of the highest coaches, 10-year, $95 million contract, but that was basketball. I mean, come on, let's get serious here. But we're talking about straight football here. So right now, it is looking like, can he interview well? Will Coach Prime give him a good recommendation? Because, they're going to want to talk to the previous head coach on why his play calls were reduced. And what would Coach Prime do? I don't know. He's going to have an end of the season interview. Him and Coach Prime are going to have to sit down and just kind of iron out some things. And like I said, Deion has been kind of classy, not letting a lot of things pop out. But at the end of the day, the internet is going to be the internet. And Coach Prime saw what he saw. Pat Shurmur saw what he saw. Other coaches on the team saw what they saw. When they saw Sean Lewis not coaching anybody up. So let's clarify a few things. People kind of hit me up and said, last week's video and a couple days video when I was talking about, you have to understand this staff is new over at Colorado. Coach Prime, a lot of people came from, Jackson State. They out here in Colorado. They put this coaching staff together. They got a lot of people in the transfer portal. I mean, a lot of these coaches saw a lot of these players on tape, outside of the ones that came out of, Jackson State. So once Sean Lewis had Shakur and a lot of players there in-house, and after about 5 or 6 weeks, you're one-on-one with these players. You're not you got them on tape on your tape. You saw them on last year's tape. You take this job. Now you have them in-house. You have them practicing. You have them, one-on-one. And from what I understand, he wasn't saying anything. He wasn't making any corrections. He wasn't telling Shakur, fix your footwork, pick your arm up, move here, move there. He was not coaching them. Now you have enough tape under your offense. This is your offense. Now you can kind of mold these players to do what you want. And from my understanding, he was not coaching him. And Shakur said it a few times, Shador, I'm sorry, that he wasn't having good communication with the offensive coordinator. And you cannot go back and look for some tape of him and the offensive coordinator huddling up after any play, sitting on the bench together talking. The communication was not there. This is why I believe the offense struggled a lot. It kind of got stagnant. It was just no communication between offensive coordinator and the quarterback. Now, that's all water under the bridge. Will Coach Prime give him a glowing, review if he wants to interview for some of these other head coaching jobs? The Michigan State job, he may not get that, but it's going to be plenty of other opportunities for him, because at the end of the day, this team was on 10 million eyeballs, was watching them every single week, watching them play, win, lose, or draw. People saw them. And I'm saying, when you look at that USC game and people, you have to let's back up a second. When they played USC, people still looked at USC like they were going to be the bowl. They were going to be the number one team. They were going to play well. So when Colorado played very well against them with that offense, yes, they came up short. People look at them at high regard. I honestly think that's the game Sean Lewis probably went left, because they had a good showing. They put up the offense. I believe they lost that game 46-41, somewhere in that ballpark. And Colorado played very, very well, and he wasn't getting any credit. People was not screaming his name. I believe between that game and the Stanford game is when he jumped ship. That's just my personal opinion. But right now, here we go. They have him up, leading candidate, Michigan State. And I honestly think they probably already made their decision. If he interviews well for this is probably his job, more than likely. So just out of respect, I believe they will call Deion Sanders, a.k.a. Coach Prime, just to say, is there anything we should know? Can you elaborate on why you reduced his play call and things of that nature, standard operation? It would just be a respect thing to call the head coach and say, but who knows? This is college football. They do their own thing. If that's their guy, that's their guy. They just might hire him and not even speak to anybody. So who knows? But right now, at the end of the day, Colorado lost today. The defense was the defense. The offense played well. Shador, if it wasn't for Shador, rushing, throwing, playing, he really played today. He showed out. Colorado fans was there. I want to give a shout out to all the people from Colorado. They have been showing up. We're kind of on the fence if we won't show up for the Utah game. That will be the last game, more than likely, for Colorado in the season in Utah. We kind of scheduled to go to that game. I think I will go and shoot the behind the scenes and shoot some of the game footage to show some of the beautiful Colorado fans, the football fans, and give the people what it looks like to be in Utah. They have a great football team also. Nevertheless, Savage Sports fan, drop a comment. Sean Lewis, is he happy today? They lost. The team lost. But that offense looked that offense looked better night and day. Last week, they sucked on offense, better on defense last week, and then today, flip-flop. Great on offense, terrible on defense. It is reported Warren Sapp will be on staff next year. Yeah, that Warren Sapp from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Oakland Raiders, he will make a great difference in connecting with these players and getting that playmaker up out of them. It's going to be a lot of changes with this team, but I will say this for the record right here. Once the season's over with, I'm telling you, once this season is over with, we're going to hear the real stories. Once people have transferred, once people have landed into their new job, I guarantee you, some of these people that's holy, some of these people that's holier than thou, a lot of things are going to come out, be exposed. People are really going to, let the world know what they really think. What was the first year like, under, Coach Prime in Colorado? That's when the real dirt. That's when the real stories. That's when the real scandal. Good, bad, or ugly is going to drop. We're going to be right there to drop it for you. We might have to get a Patreon because it's going to be heavy. Because what I'm hearing is a lot of scandalous things that went down. If you did not know when Colorado played Oregon and that was the first loss and they got blown out, and I kind of touched on, I was hearing that those players were already tired before the game started. If you have not been around, Oregon is a very active place for a young man, so to speak. But I'm not going to get into that. I know at the end of the season, all the juicy scandal, all the stories you can't talk about, the stuff I'm hearing, we may not be able to put it on YouTube. It is a lot going on. When you got 10 million people watching you per week, that brings a lot of opportunities to your doorstep. I'm going to leave it at that. It's going to be scandalous. A lot of these players, a lot of these coaches, they had a good year. Even though it didn't work out from a record perspective, Colorado didn't have the year that they wanted. They got some of these players and coaches got some clout behind the scenes. It got pretty hot and heavy. This is Late Night Conversation, Savage Sports Fan, late night football conversation. The Chicago Bears won, but they still stink. Yes, they do. They won. They have already turned on Justin Fields. The fans are saying they don't need him to come back, blah, 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 blah. Some of these fans are just lost. I'm not going to go there. But nevertheless, drop a comment. Sean Lewis, is he going to get the job? Yes or no? He's going to get a job, and is he going to write a book? Is he going to write a book? If Sean Lewis write a book, I think his coaching career will be over. But anyway, nevertheless, that's all I have. Colorado lost. They put up a good fight. Walk-off field goal. Arizona played well. 21st ranked. Arizona didn't play the best game, and they still won. Arizona going to be doing big things. We will see them in a bowl. We will be there. Don't worry. Throughout the bowl season, we will be in a place to be. But like I said before, I'm not from NYC. Anyway, that's all I have. I'm out. Until next time, Savage Sports Fan.